In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to set up your new C-Vape or Evod electronic cigarette. Right now, I'm going to be showing you how to fill it up on the C-Vape just because it does have a few more features. So if you can use this one, you'll definitely be able to use the Evod. They both do feel exactly the same and work exactly the same. So if you can use this one, you can definitely use this one. Other than that, the first thing I'm going to show you is how to fill the pin. So the first thing you want to do is unscrew the tank from the battery. And to do that, you want to grab this corrugated metal here and the battery and unscrew it from the tank. You'll be left with the battery and the tank. Anytime you unscrew these, just check in this connection to make sure that it's all clean and that there's no liquid in there. If there is, you can either use a Q-tip or a paper towel or something and just wipe it out. As long as that's clean, you shouldn't have any problems with it. But for filling the tank, what we usually recommend is to grab the corrugated metal here and unscrew it off of the tank. You will notice when you unscrew it that you do have this little piece here. This is your coil and this is your base. Anytime you unscrew your tank to fill it, you want to make sure that this coil right here is screwed down all the way. Otherwise, you won't make a connection with the battery and your tank will most likely leak. Usually, it'll just come out like this. They are replaceable. Usually they last anywhere from 2 weeks to a month, depending on how much you use it. Only time you'll need to replace it is if you get any unpleasant or burning taste to it. So always make sure that your coil is screwed down into your base, hand tight. Other than that, what you'll want to do to fill your tank is grab it in your e-juice. And make sure when you do this to avoid the center tube in there. If you're to pour it in the center tube, it would just come out the other end because that's where your airflow travels. So make sure, I usually tell people to hold it at an angle and then hold your e-juice at an angle and let it run down the side right until you get to the top of that center tube. And once you get to the top of that center tube, you would take your coil, make sure it's tightened, and line it up with that center tube and tighten it down. Once you got it screwed down hand tight, you want to let it sit straight up and down for a good 2 minutes or so. I usually let them sit for about 2 minutes, and then I will do 2 puffs on it without having the battery connected. That way it'll suck up any juice without it burning the wicks. Just like that. Once you got it filled and you've let it sit for a good 2 minutes or so, you can go ahead and screw that back onto the battery. Before you use it, you are going to want to put a charge on the battery. To charge it, you'll just want to unscrew the silver cap on the bottom and then just plug that cord into this little port here. The red light will come on while it's charging and will go off once it's done charging. We do have the Evod battery, which to charge it you have to unscrew the tank from the battery and screw the charger into it, and then you plug this into any USB. With this one you won't be able to use it while it's charging, but you can use this one while it's charging, which is the C-Vape, which is a nice feature. So if you're trying to quit smoking, you are going to be able to use it while it's not charging instead of having to wait 2 hours. Other than that though, once it's done charging, to turn it on, you'll want to push this button 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That'll flash at you to let you know it's either on or off. I think I just turned it off. Right now I'm going to turn it back on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It'll flash to let you know it's on. You'd also have 3 different heat settings too, or voltage settings. To switch between those settings, you would push the button 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Red is going to be your lowest setting at 3.2 volts. If I push it 3 more times, it'll go to purple, which is 3.7 volts. Push it 3 more times, it'll go to blue, which is 4.2 volts. Usually the higher your voltage, the more vapor you get and the warmer the vapor will be. The lower your voltage, the less vapor you get, and generally the cooler the vapor will be. We usually recommend running them on purple. You're free to set it on whatever temperature you want. It's not going to ruin the device or anything. It's usually just personal preference. But other than that, once you've found your voltage, just go ahead and hold the button while you inhale. And there you go. Have a good one.